again to gummytc, God's Union Marriage Ministry YouTube channel. I'm Eldridge Henry. This is my beautiful wife, Zena Henry. On today's discussion, we're going to talk about accepting your spouse's differences, the yin and yang of the marriage, the oil and water of the marriage, how she's Zena, I'm Eldridge, and you're going to relate it to your own relationship. So we're going to talk about 3 points, and so I'm going to hand things over to my lovely wife, Zena.
Why, thank you.
Get it, baby.
Yes. So the first point is don't try to change your spouse.
Don't try to change your spouse.
You married the spouse that you married. They are the person that they are. More than likely, they're not going to change.
Does that sound familiar? We talked about this topic once before, but today we're going to go into a little bit more detail about understanding and accepting your spouse's differences.
Exactly. God made them who they are. And when you're trying to change your spouse, it says that you're not accepting of who they are. And so we want you to try to accept your spouse just the way God made them. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, what if my spouse does such and such? Or what if my spouse is on drugs? Or what if my spouse has a bad habit of spending all of our money? Or what if my spouse does such, whatever. So we know that there are some things that probably need to change for the betterment of the marriage. But there are some things that you might be trying to change about your spouse that you know are never going to change.
Right. An example would be if your spouse likes some, for instance, certain styles of clothing. Now, if they're not walking around half naked, let them be their own unique self.
Yes.
Because if you're picking on them, like my wife said earlier, you're making them feel like they're not good enough for you or you're not happy with them. You married them, so you knew these things before.
Yes.
Very few times are there a full masquerade going on prior to marriage. And we do put on some different mannerisms during the courting process, but after a while, the true us usually shows, and we're either going to accept that person or we're going to end the relationship. Now, if you're married, there's no such thing as ending the relationship. You must ask God to teach you how to love your spouse for who they are.
Exactly. Now, if you're not married and you're not accepting of your partner's differences, then this may be the time to say, is this the person for me or is it not? Remember the deal breakers.
We talked about that in the previous video. Deal breakers.
Yes. So can I accept this person or do I need to move on?
We're bringing it full circle, people.
Yes.
Full circle.
All right. So don't try to change your spouse. Point number 2, pray for your spouse. If there is something that you're having difficulty accepting, pray. Pray about that. Pray that, take it to God. Everything to God in prayer. Pray for you and your spouse. So you're not just praying for your spouse, but you're also praying for yourself. Pray that God will make you the spouse that you need to be for your spouse, and pray that your spouse will be the husband or wife they need to be for you. And I think when we begin to take our spouse to God in prayer, we can be accepting of who they are because we know that God made them. And when you're praying for somebody, most of the time, you'll notice that God won't necessarily change that person, but God will change your heart to be able to accept that person.
That's a great point to make, baby. One of the things we've learned over the reading we've done over the years is that power of praying husband, power of praying wife. Stormy O'Martin, who's the author, mentions that you have to learn to pray that God makes you what your spouse needs.
Exactly.
So what that does is that softens your heart, gives you a new mindset, so you won't be trying to change them for what you think they might become or what you think they should be. Remember this about your spouse. They are a gift from God. You're like, what? I picked her. I went to the mall and hollered at her. No, she's a gift, and God allowed it or willed you all to be together. So you have to take your time and treat your gift from God just as it is, a gift. Don't mess up your nice presents.
Yes. And then thirdly, learn to accept your spouse for who they are. They're going to be different from you, of course, because everybody is different. We all have individual upbringings from things that we've learned in our past, from the way we were reared as a child. We all have different backgrounds. We all come from different circles of life. Accept your spouse. When you're accepting of them, it says that you care about the person that they are and that you're willing to say, I love you no matter what. When a person feels like they're accepted, that gives them room to grow and blossom into something completely beautiful that God, again, has made.
Caterpillar to the butterfly. Ugly duckling to the swan. Get with it.
Yes. So again, 3 points about accepting your spouse's differences. You want to make sure that, first of all, you're not trying to change them. Secondly, that you're praying for them as well as yourself and the marriage. And then thirdly, that you're learning to be accepting of who they are, including all of those differences. We love you guys, and we thank you again for tuning in. As always, we're so blessed that you have chosen us again. gummytc.
Hashtag gummytc. Share it with the world. Go have a blessed one. Take care of your spouse. Love them for who they are. Just the way you are.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all. Oh, yeah. Cut! That's line. Now you can zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in.
That's good right there. Think that's pretty good?
You can zoom in some more. There's a lot of headroom left.
That's okay.
You got a whole inch. You said you wanted closer with less stuff. You can't see my hanky good enough.
Turn your chair this way. Toward us. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's perfect. What do you think?
I need a pillow on my back so I can rest.
Okay, you good like that? Brush on.
Put your face together.
My face together?
Yeah.
Am I doing exercises?
No,
Is my ponytail straight this time?
Yes, bro. Fix my collar. My shirt collar. Pull it up a little bit.
In the back?
Yeah, all around the side. I should not see sport coat. You see collar.
There we go.
Now pull the shirt jacket down the back. Pull it down tight.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go. How's that?
So fresh and so clean. Alrighty. You ready?
And 2. 1. Take care of any shininess. Eyebrows good.
Alert. Happy.
And engaged.
And engaged.
Found it?